Australia doesn't rebuild billion-dollar dams unless something has gone very wrong. Paradise Dam was meant to secure water, protect farms, and last 100 years. It began failing in less than 20. Cracks spread, safety margins collapsed, and over 60,000 people downstream were put at risk. Engineers reached a stark conclusion: the dam couldn't be safely fixed. The solution was to build a new one, just downstream, at a cost nearing $3 billion. This is how a project designed to save money became one of Australia's most expensive infrastructure failures. A region that lives and dies by water. Paradise Dam sits roughly 80 kilometers inland from Bundaberg in the Australian state of Queensland. The structure spans the Burnett River, anchoring a farming region dominated by high-value crops such as sugarcane and macadamia nuts. This is not an easy landscape to manage. The region oscillates between long, punishing droughts and sudden, destructive floods. Reliable water storage is not a luxury. It is the foundation of the local economy and the safety net for surrounding communities. Paradise Dam was intended to be both a massive reservoir holding hundreds of gigaliters of water and a flood control barrier standing between violent storm surges and tens of thousands of people downstream. Its concrete wall stretches nearly 600 meters across the valley, relying on sheer weight and mass to resist the force of the river during extreme weather. When that wall began to fail, the consequences rippled far beyond the dam site. Building fast, building cheap, and paying later. From the beginning, Paradise Dam was shaped by two powerful pressures: speed and cost. Engineers chose to build the structure using roller-compacted concrete, a construction method that was still relatively new for large gravity dams in Australia at the time. Unlike traditional poured concrete, roller-compacted concrete uses a much drier mix, closer in texture to damp soil. It is spread in thin horizontal layers known as lifts, and compacted using heavy vibrating rollers similar to road construction. On paper, roller-compacted concrete offered major advantages. It could be placed faster, required less cement, and significantly reduced labor and material costs. For Australia's first major roller-compacted concrete gravity dam, the approach appeared efficient and modern. But efficiency came at a price: the material decisions that undermined the dam. Several critical choices made during construction would later prove disastrous. First, the aggregate material, the crushed rock mixed into the concrete, was sourced locally from the riverbed. This basalt contained higher levels of clay than ideal and showed chemical reactivity that should have raised serious red flags. Second, the concrete mix itself was altered during construction. To cut costs, engineers reduced cement and fly ash content, producing an unusually lean mix. While this saved money up front, it also reduced long-term strength and durability. Crucially, this change was not subjected to adequate review or testing. Compared to more than 900 roller-compacted concrete dams worldwide, Paradise Dam ended up ranking in roughly the lowest 1% for cement content. A stunning statistic for a structure expected to protect human lives for a century. Third, the roller-compacted concrete lifts did not bond properly. Instead of forming a unified monolithic mass, the layers created weak horizontal joints, essentially built-in fault lines that allowed water to seep through the structure. Finally, the spillway and downstream apron, designed to safely handle major flood flows, were under-designed. These components bore the full force of floodwater, yet lacked the robustness needed to resist erosion and impact during extreme events. None of these were accidents. They were conscious decisions made to accelerate construction and reduce costs. The flood that exposed everything. In early 2013, Paradise Dam faced its first true test. Record-breaking floods surged through the Burnett River system, sending massive volumes of water over the dam's crest. Almost immediately, weaknesses became visible. The spillway apron fractured. Concrete slabs broke apart. Beneath them, floodwater began aggressively eroding the rock foundation. Had that erosion progressed much further, the outcome could have been catastrophic. Emergency repairs costing tens of millions of dollars were rushed through. Authorities publicly reassured the community that the dam was safe. Privately, engineers were deeply alarmed. The structure had survived, but barely. It was clear the dam might not endure a larger flood, when confidence finally collapsed. By 2019 and 2020, the warnings could no longer be ignored. A comprehensive risk assessment revealed that Paradise Dam no longer met modern safety standards. Under a probable maximum flood, the extreme scenario dams are supposed to withstand, the risk of failure was unacceptably high. The response was dramatic. Operators lowered the reservoir to reduce pressure on the wall. Then, in an unprecedented move, crews physically removed more than 5 meters from the top of the dam. Overnight, a structure built to secure water for decades was officially deemed unsafe at its original height. The impact was devastating. Reservoir capacity dropped by up to 57%. Farmers who had invested millions based on promised water security saw their future unravel. Why repair was no longer an option? At first glance, strengthening the dam seemed possible. Why not reinforce the spillway, improve drainage, and restore the height? The answer lay inside the concrete itself. Forensic testing revealed that the roller-compacted concrete was far more porous than expected. Water was traveling through the dam, dissolving and washing out cement in a process known as leaching. Worse, laboratory aging tests showed that the clay-rich aggregates and low cement content caused the concrete to expand and contract excessively over time. The dam was not just weak, it was actively deteriorating. Once such internal degradation begins, it cannot be reliably reversed. Engineers concluded that restoring the dam would leave unacceptable residual risk. Every major flood would again put tens of thousands of people in danger. At that point, rebuilding became the only responsible option. Building a second dam, properly this time. In 2024, the government made its final decision. Stop repairs and build an entirely new dam approximately 90 meters downstream. The existing structure will serve temporarily as a cofferdam, holding back the river while construction occurs in dry conditions. The new dam's design directly addresses every failure of the original. This time, the concrete mix will contain significantly higher cement content, with strict quality control to ensure proper bonding between lifts. The spillway and stilling basin will be larger, stronger, and designed for modern flood estimates, not outdated assumptions. Advanced instrumentation will be embedded throughout the structure, allowing engineers to monitor stress, movement, and temperature for decades. Environmental considerations, largely overlooked in the first build, now play a central role, with protections for native fish and turtle species integrated into the design. In short, the new dam assumes a future of more frequent and more intense floods, not a past that no longer exists. The real cost of cutting corners. When all costs are tallied, the original construction, emergency repairs, risk mitigation, lost water capacity, and the full replacement, the price of Paradise Dam runs into the billions. What was meant to be a cost-effective solution became one of Australia's most expensive infrastructure lessons. Paradise Dam illustrates a fundamental truth of engineering. You can pay upfront for quality, or you can pay many times over for failure. Speed and savings may look attractive on paper, but when infrastructure protects lives, compromise is not efficiency. It is risk deferred. As climate extremes intensify worldwide, this lesson grows more urgent. Infrastructure designed for yesterday's conditions will increasingly fail in tomorrow's reality. Paradise Dam was built fast. It was built cheap. And now it must be built again, properly at enormous cost. The question facing every nation is whether they will learn from this story before they are forced to repeat it. So the real question is this: will we keep rebuilding our mistakes, or finally start building for the world we're actually living in? If you enjoyed this deep dive into mega projects and the hidden failures behind them, like and subscribe for more videos where engineering, money, and human lives collide.